then sits another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
That's a dead leaf boy.
And we're back with another episode of Bones and Tubs.
2018 is dying all over your yard.
Yeah, it's just throwing up all over the place.
Yeah.
Expelling its old skin, shedding a new one.
I'm going to turn that microphone. Sounds funny. Just started sounding funny. Got to get back into position from our road show. Yeah.
I don't know.
It'll be alright.
Okay.
That's a fucking early in the show technical difficulties, boy.
Is that better?
Oh, you're goddamn right it is.
Well,
You don't hear the difference?
no, but I'm crazy right now.
Now you sound all bassy. Like a jazz musician.
All right, so
Yeah, that's so good.
we're going to be doing alien abduction and alien stuff today because that's the last in our series of spoody episodes.
A lot of people might think, like, well, that's not spooky at all. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're laying in your bed at night and you wake up in some sleep paralysis and a fucking gray, tiny humanoid comes through the wall and wants to take you away from everything and play with your butthole, that's fucking spooky.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm. But before we got started, I figured we can cover some things that happened during the time between the last episode and today.
14th Amendment? The end of the birthright?
Yeah.
Citizenship?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
5,200 soldiers heading to the southern border?
Yeah, there is that. And 5,200 U.S. soldiers are heading towards the border to meet the caravan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just saw earlier that there's, in fact, a second caravan.
Yeah.
Of a sizable amount, about the same as the first one. Except this time, they're being a little bit more aggressive out their approach, and apparently police that have been trying to stop them have been met with bombs and guns and everything of the sort.
Don't sing it, bring it, bitch.
So, I mean, I guess we'll see.
Let it all burn.
But there was also a shooting at a synagogue earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny for posterity? I think we talked about the notion that there was going to be some false flag attacks or false flag activities going on right before the election.
Yeah.
Imagine my shock.
I like that the left stream media was asking Trump to making him denounce his support of white supremacy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've never endorsed white supremacists.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You said that.
Yeah. What's that called? They're casting dispersion.
Yeah. So, and also there was the MAGA bomber thing, which I think we only, that was the first one happened on the day we recorded the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that was George Soros received one.
Yeah.
And he was the first. And then the next day after the recording, what was it? Hillary Clinton, Obama, and CNN all received bombs. Right, simultaneously, which is fucking miraculous considering he used the United States Postal Service. I'm impressed.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
Especially with no postmarks on him either.
Right.
That's
I wonder how he managed to avoid all those security cameras in his Trump-mobile as he delivered those bombs that
exactly
didn't have the correct postage.
Yeah.
That somehow got delivered.
Yeah, somehow managed to get delivered. You know, I mean, those were obviously fake, right?
Yeah.
Just for audience,
Or they just get a guy that couldn't speak English and they abduct him like, you are the fucking bomber.
Yeah.
We're going to put you in prison because you can't speak English.
We'll take care of your family, though.
Yeah.
But,
See?
Well, then it's also, like, a big thing that came out as soon as they caught him was they were like, he's Republican.
And white.
And one thing people have pointed out is one, he can't be a Republican because he's an ex-felon. Mm-hmm. And in the state of Florida, if you're a felon, you can't register to vote.
Facts.
They don't care about your feelings.
Their propaganda is getting so fucking lazy.
But they wanted to make sure that everybody knew that he was a Republican.
Back when we were kids, they blew buildings up and blamed it on brown people. Now they're just making up blatant lies about brown people and making them white people.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So that ended that whole, basically, he's in custody now and all that. And I bet you his family's going to get a nice payout.
Yeah.
But the synagogue shooting, I would go on and say, one, I mean, you probably listened to our episode about MK Ultra.
Yeah.
But two, big news, and this actually affects us. They took down Gab.
I saw that. I went to check our numbers the other day on Gab, and I was met with a message.
Gab is down.
Yeah, Gab said, we'll be back.
Well,
you can't stop us.
And to give you guys a little backstory on, once again, another platform being completely shut down because of no bias whatsoever. Gab was a social media site that Bones and Tubs was a part of. It was a free social media site.
Yeah.
Welcome all platforms.
Free from their fucking control systems.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. I'm sure, like, here's the thing, like, the synagogue shooter, he was on Gab, and he put some flipping shit. And the thing is, it's like, you know, yeah, it's fucking stupid. Like, he was on there getting crazy.
There is a lot of heavy Jew hatred on Gab, but you're going to have that in a free society of people hiding behind keyboards.
Yeah.
We had some people post comments on some of our posts about Jews, and I just responded back, like, Jews, really?
Yeah.
Like, this is an episode about Satanism.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Jews.
Yeah.
Daryl, sit down.
You fucking... It's enough. Enough of that talk.
Fuck Zionism, you know. But
Yeah, fuck
also,
Zionism.
But also fuck Jew hate.
Yeah.
Get your life together.
Because, you know, as you know, our attorney...
Yeah. Second attorney.
Mr. Greenberg... he's a cherished member of the Bones and Tubs podcast.
He is also Jewish.
And he's also of the Jewish faith. I would never hold that against him.
He's also not a Zionist, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, he's come in with a button on his lapel of his suit jacket that said Free Palestine.
Yeah.
You know.
And Trump 2020. We got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's duality, but it's whatever. But, like, because the synagogue shooter went out and said that Trump thought that, well, he thought that Trump was owned by the Zionists and all this shit. But they still lay the shooting at Trump's feet for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, and then you get reporters saying even crazier shit. Like, I think one said that Trump is more responsible for recruiting terrorists than ISIS ever was.
Suck a fucking dick.
What?
Yeah.
They're like, listen, I really want to know, anybody out there listening that doesn't agree with me or us on this podcast about how we feel about things, I really want the drugs that you're taking.
Yeah. How much
I want
are they?
them.
What kind are they?
I assume it's their own ass, like they're literally high off their own ass.
Yeah.
Because, like, the shit that comes out of their fucking mouths is stupid.
Yeah. It's balderdash.
Yes. It's poppycock.
Yeah.
But,
excellent words.
yeah. But,
we are not funded by the Zionists.
no.
So I'd like to take this time to invite you to head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/bonesandtubs. Mm-hmm. If you want to do a monthly little $1 donation or $5, 10, 20, whatever you want to do. Yeah. If you don't have money to compensate us and you don't want us to be bought out by Zion, then head over to our Instagram, buy a TeePublic shirt.
Get over that nation now.
Go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review at least. Tell your friends. Those are the ways you keep us Zionist free here at the Bones and Tubs podcast.
Because I have a feeling that it's about to turn up here soon. Bones and Tubs might be riding that wave if all the QAnon shit is real. We got a lot of backtracking.
Yeah.
Like, if it's fake, I was just talking to my podcasting partner before the show started, and I was telling him that the Federalist just put out an article stating that one of the members of supposedly who ran the QAnon page came forward to say that it was all a hoax.
Yeah, of course.
Now, the thing is, they won't publish the person's name. They won't publish anything about him. His nickname was Microchip. Right? Like, that's what they called him in the article, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know what's great? I am a fiction writer, and you know what's also great is I can usually tell when I'm reading a piece of fiction.
Yeah. Was that Federalist article fiction?
Oh, it was a grand fiction.
Yeah.
I would go on to say that it is on par with Stephen King, and I do the Italian hand gesture right now as I say that.
La prova in gusto.
Yeah, because, like, how are you going to, like, okay, if you want to validate, and because they even try to extrapolate in the article how they believe that this person actually is part of QAnon just because of, like, but because of what? How like, Q has put everything out there that they've said. How are you going to, like, give us extra evidence that you're Q?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the part I don't understand. Like, how are you going to... And then, like, they talked about how there was false prophecies and stuff that they had put forward and things like that, which discredited them and da-da-da-da. It was just a big smear piece is what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I could literally go to any of the internet news sites or anything like that,
That's like editing a Wikipedia article to win an argument.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly.
I saw something about that, actually.
Yeah.
But, like, you imagine I could go to any news site and say, I'm QAnon.
Yeah. I made it all up.
It's fucking fake.
I was kidding.
I mean, it might be fake. Here's the thing. But I take it, I don't think it's fake. I think it's either, well, theoretically, one of my options is that it's fake, but it's something else. The one option is that, one, it's just a Project Mockingbird CIA op.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, it's real.
Well, we'll find out after the election, I'm sure.
But if it's real, there's even more options than that as to whether it's good or whether it's bad.
If it's real, I imagine there's going to be a flood of people listening to those episodes that we did a long time ago.
Exactly. But yeah.
But whatever.
Whatever, boo. But nah. So today, we're going to talk about aliens.
Yeah.
My voice is terrible right now.
Off tune. Yeah, we were both sitting on the in the front yard.
We were outside yesterday.
Yeah.
For hours at the factory.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. There was a constant, sustained breeze that was cold, and tried to rip my throat open with the. You know, your body changes the oil like twice a year.
Yeah.
Winter to spring, fall to winter. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Changing the oil.
Changing the oil.
But I didn't know how you wanted to start this one. I just went through and did the sent those links that you.
Yeah, I saw those. We could start with that, and then work our way. I just want to talk a little bit about a couple of similarities in abduction stories.
Yeah.
And then talk about Travis Walton just a little bit.
That's cool.
And then we can talk about what you mentioned to me earlier about the tie between aliens and demons. Mm-hmm. Wrap it up with that. Sounds good to you?
There's a shitload over America. So if you go to, you want a neat little website to check out. It's UFOstalker.com. Supposedly gives you a somewhat real-time view into the nearby sightings of so-called UFOs. Which I've never really been sure how I feel about these things. Because I've seen some shit, in the sky.
Yeah.
I just wonder, because I'm also, this will tickle the bellies of those that listen to the Bones and Tubs podcast that are flat earthers, because I, like them, have a part of my brain that doesn't believe anybody's left low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, part of me also argues that some of the shit we're seeing is secretive government stuff that they've used tax dollars to make and not let us reap the benefits of.
Exactly.
But UFOstalker.com is pretty neat. I'm right over Dayton, Ohio right now.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sightings over that area. It seems kind of correlates with our notions of the Wright Pat Air Force Base being nearby, too.
There's none over us directly. I'm trying to see where the closest one is. West 3rd Street? No. Germantown Street? No. But yeah, go over there to UFOstalker.com, eat your fucking heart out. Check it out. Real-time live map. Another great website to go through and spend hours of your life looking on is MUFON.com. MUFON.com. They have a historical, all the historical alien crashes or abduction stories or sightings, all the way from Project Blue Book. And we've got 1897 here, Aurora, Texas crash, 47, 52, 61, 64, 65, all the way up to 2008. And then they've got monthly sightings. You can go in there and see like all the activity.
Yeah.
Some videos, pictures, all that stuff. There's definitely something going on up there.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
Here's the thing. I think when we started thinking about this episode, I started looking up historical documentation of UFOs, right? Mm-hmm. And I came across that one in Nuremberg, Germany, in the 1500s. What was that called? I mean, most historical people call it the 1561 celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg, Germany, where over the course of an entire day, basically the whole city. Like, it's a group. Here's the thing. Like, if one person sees some crazy shit in the sky, you could discredit that and say, well, this person's fucking crazy. But the problem with this one is that a whole city saw the shit, and it's a series of, like, basically they saw two crazy, like, bent, like, rings come over the sun, right?
Yeah.
And then all these, like, orbs started flying around and hitting each other. And then this giant spear-shaped thing showed up. And then the shit all dissipated. Like basically from the sounds of it, there was a giant fucking space battle over Nuremberg, Germany in the 1500s.
What the fuck?
And, like, given the time and the people that were there, they didn't know how to explain it.
Right.
Like, in a normal like, they couldn't say, oh, it's fucking aliens, because the concept of aliens I don't think was a thing back then. Well, it might have been, but I don't think it was.
Yeah.
But they associate it with, like, some godly shit. Like, it was
I don't think aliens came about until, like, the earlier 1900s.
Yeah. But they associate, they said it was, like, some gods. Like, God, well, God was, oh, God. God was angry.
Mm-hmm.
And
probably
there was, like, some sort of crazy godly orb battle over the skies of Nuremberg.
Well, if Mark Passio's cosmic abandonment video is to be believed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could tie the whole godly thing in with, if you tie in cosmic abandonment with it, I see that.
Yeah.
But, like, but there's been other times, like, in historical documents where they talked about objects in the sky, unexplained objects in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, not moving in a pattern that, like, a meteor or anything else would move either. Like,
an intelligent path.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we have this stuff all the way back to, you know, any historical context you want to speak of.
That, like, the Air Force has just started declassifying stuff recently.
Yeah.
Like chasing them or having them show up next to them out of nowhere.
I think, like, what really, like, jettisoned, like, the whole, like, sent the whole notion of UFOs and aliens into, like, a higher level, at least in, like, the consciousness of the people, came with flight. Mm-hmm. The power of flight changed things because now we were seeing things from a different angle.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where you get, like, you know, dogfights in World War II where they talked about how they had to register, they called them Foo Fighters. Mm-hmm. Like, not the band, but
right.
But, like, unidentified aircraft in the sky with them as they were fighting.
Yeah, what the fuck is that, mate?
Yeah.
You know?
And then that's where the term UFO or UFO, whatever you want to say, came forward. You know, anybody out there doesn't know, it's unidentified flying object.
And subsequently the band, the Foo Fighters.
And the Foo Fighters. Yeah. But, like, I think that's when you started to see a lot more of this shit because, one, I think a lot of it has to do with flight, and two, I think technology, because now you had, like, photography.
Yeah.
And you could take pictures of things. And we're talking about photography where you literally clicked a button and it took a snap. Yeah. Versus, like, imagine photography in the 1890s. You had to sit still for, like, 20 seconds.
That's why they all look miserable as fuck in those pictures.
Nobody wants to smile for, like, 20 seconds straight.
No. Man.
I mean, I could think of a reason to smile for 20 seconds straight, but...
Yeah.
Back then, I don't think they knew about blowjobs either. So
yeah, they probably weren't doing anything other than the occasional
missionary-style sex through a hole in the sheet.
Yeah,
yeah,
because everything else is sin.
Yeah, but
you ever see this article? It came out July 24th of 2018. This is a good article to check out. That's what Russia looked like during the day. It said the sky just went black. So, Daily Mail's got an article, Mystery as Sky Turns Black in Middle of the Day, Remote Russian Towns. And then The Sun, Mystery as Day Temporarily Turns to Night Over a Huge Area of Central Russia. But my favorite one, where is it? Russia once explained what caused the devilry over Russian towns. So that's crazy. Those pictures are fucking crazy, but just go to Google and type in Russia goes dark during day and you'll bring up the news articles and the images.
But yeah, I mean, so this whole phenomenon of objects in the sky isn't anything new, but because of technology, I feel like it's become more prevalent.
Yeah.
Right? You see it more, right? You see these things in the sky, and I think with it comes the people recounting tales of being abducted.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, you don't get too much of that before.
No.
But here's the thing. I think the notion of actually being able to remember your abduction is an anomaly in and of itself.
Yeah.
Because I think that it happens probably a lot more often than people even realize. But like, if you look, and this is, mind you, this is in psychological texts. It's a phenomenon that science has not been able to explain inside the realm of like accepted science. Mm-hmm. Outside of accepted science, people can take a guess at what it is, and that's the notion of gaps in your timeline, missing time, as they call it. Like, psychologists can't explain it. I remember my sister first talked to me about it years ago when she was in college taking psychology courses, and they came across the notion of missing time, and nobody knows why it happens.
That's another common parallel, like we were talking about aliens being gods or aliens and demons, right?
Yeah.
But we talked to people before that have told us stories about using Ouija boards and having missing time occur.
Yeah. But like, so you are driving down the road and it's 10 o'clock and you're heading home, and all of a sudden you blink and you open your eyes again and you're sitting in your driveway. Mm-hmm. It's now 1:30 in the morning.
Your butt's sore.
Yeah, your butt's sore. What happened? Like, honestly, I could say I've never had missing time happen to me.
Yeah. I don't think I have, but there was a good 10-year period of my life that I was drunk. So
yeah.
Who knows what happened during that time period.
But the thing is, like, it happens all the time to people, and, you know, accepted science has no, like, explanation for it.
Right.
They haven't been able to explain away the notion that you can lose hours.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And not have anything. And the thing is like, people who have lost it before, they'll like go to hypnotists and get hypnotized, and then all of a sudden the shit comes like a bad PTSD nightmare. Like,
yeah,
fucking all of a sudden they remember fucking bright lights, and then all of a sudden fucking weird creatures around them fucking touching them and fucking doing stuff to their bodies and stuff like that. Like,
yeah. And
that's the thing, is like, you get those same correlations a lot with these abductions. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, the bright lights, the sudden, like, loss of consciousness. Like, they say, like, when the lights happen, like, your auditory response goes all fucky and you can't hear anything anymore and shit like that. Like, it's some sort of, like, device that can shut down your ability to fucking comprehend anything.
Yeah, they just turn off the recorder, or so they say. So they think.
Yeah,
I just think that it I don't know what it's called. Where you have my brain. I've explained it a number of times, but I have this where I hold separate theories that contradict one another. Mm-hmm. I hold them together.
Yeah,
and they just stay there. Mm-hmm. One never wins out over the other.
Yeah.
So on one hand, my brain's willing to accept that aliens are demons, mm-hmm. or these extra dimensional things that we just haven't the intellect to quite put our finger on.
Yeah.
But different things in culture are calling them different things. Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or, on the other hand, this is just a closed system that we can't escape from. And it's us doing it to ourselves. Because then you have Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
You know? And that whole idea was a brainchild of the 90s.
So, like, the possibility that extraterrestrials that visit are just a psyop?
Well, that's if we're in a closed system.
Yeah.
But if we're not in a closed system, then I think I go more along the lines of Mark Passio, Cosmic Abandonment.
Yeah.
You know, some of those things, too, they talk about, they're not physically on the third dimension.
Yeah.
That when you're seeing them in the sky and their discs or whatever, and they're blinking around, right? Like, they might be here, they might disappear, they might go over there. That's just them bleeding through to our dimension for a brief second.
And you see them, like in a lot of videos I've seen before, you'll see them stationary at one spot and then inconceivably move at a speed, impossible speed, to another spot. Like, nothing that we have can go that fast. Like, theoretically, it should break the sound barrier. It should create some physical effect, but it doesn't. Yeah,
it's only here visibly.
Yeah.
Or it's like they slow down their vibration enough to come back to our plane. And it's kind of like how it would be, what is it? Who's the scientist that does the Flatland?
That was Carl Sagan.
Yeah, Carl Sagan Flatland is an excellent YouTube video.
Yeah.
It talks about like what a two-dimensional being would think if they saw a three-dimensional object.
And that's kind of like, that ties into the notions of like how people who have been abducted can't really explain everything that's happening to them either.
It's funny that science hasn't found a way to explain it, but the Joe Rogan podcast has.
Yeah.
That show Joe Rogan, he says that it's a mixture of sleep paralysis, which is a real thing, and memories from being born. That's what he thinks all of it is. He thinks it's bullshit. At least he says it's bullshit. Who knows what he really thinks, because everybody knows he's changed his tune.
Yeah.
A number of times.
So, I don't know. I don't buy that, though.
No, but we will once we get paid enough money.
Exactly, yeah. We just got to get paid the right amount of money, and then we'll stop talking about this shit forever.
Start mirroring his life, except we live in Ohio.
Yeah.
We're just on roids, and we have our own fucking little, I don't know, giant pole barn filled with fucking Bones and Tubs toys that we enjoy.
Yeah. So you said Bones and Tubs toys, and for some reason my mind went to, like, sex toys. I don't know why.
Well, it's because when you go to type in Bones and Tubs, and you're tired, and you type it into Google, and a lot of times it comes up to boners and nudes. Or
boners and nudes.
You know?
Nice.
It's very, very close. It's
very sensitive keyboard.
It's almost like a Freudian slip. Fingertips.
But no, so basically, what if you took you said you had the two notions. What if you took the two notions and put them together, and the notion, like you said, on one hand, if it was a closed system, then it's just some sort of fucking psyop, right?
Yeah.
But in a non-closed system, it's some extra dimensional being coming here, right? Mm-hmm. What if, like, the two are connected? What if it's one and the same?
It's a closed system.
It's a closed system, and
they're blinking into our reality from time to time.
An alien, they're the theoretical scientists of this operation. Like, they're doing litmus testing on us, right? So they have to like occasionally like phase into our fucking reality.
Yeah.
Fucking, abduct somebody, run some tests on them, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and then send them back.
Probably some goddamn third grader fucking project on a shelf. You know, they just check us from time to time.
I bet you we wouldn't even win a prize. We get the participation ribbon.
There's a funny meme somewhere that's like, what if the entire infinite universe is just an alien third grader's science project that got a C-?
Yeah, right. They look at it. You didn't even do anything.
No.
You threw some fucking chemicals together and some electricity. And yeah. You brought together a dimension, and that's it. That's lazy.
Yeah, Demiurge has got C- in all of his classes.
Damn it. Yeah. That's why he's pissed and hates us all.
Yeah, I get it.
You see what I did to Saturn here?
This is bullshit. Yeah. I just wonder sometimes if life is not a video game. Like, you get mad and you play Fallout, and occasionally they piss you off, so you just kill an entire town of them, and then you start over again.
Yeah. Well, you get an entire, like, you have an entire scientific community that whenever you get them up on a stage, they talk about the wonders of fucking space and everything, and then, like, they generally all say the same thing. They're like, well, there is a grand possibility that this is all just a simulation.
Yeah.
And that it's not real. And I'm not even talking about some fringe people here. I'm talking about fucking
Elon Musk,
NASA scientists. Neil deGrasse Tyson has gone up and said that this could be this. There's a very high probability that this is just a simulation.
Snowden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm experimenting with the cheat codes, though. I'm trying to get this motherfucker on point.
Yeah. There are cheat codes.
Affirmations.
But yeah, so I kind of sit in the middle with your two theories, and I think that it is a closed system. But, like, think about, like, Sims. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the proverbial player of the Sims game. While their Sims run around and fucking fuck and cause war and do all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And, like, there's some who are kind of hip to it and they get what's going on, so they, like, think they can control things and do things the way they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or there's option 3. They're actually just aliens, and we don't live in a closed system. We do live in a real solar system.
I just don't buy that NASA bullshit.
As real as it can be, and these are just alien. They're just explorers who come. We're proverbially like we're like a tourist trap at the end of the fucking galaxy. Like, come see Earth. These fuckers are stupid.
These motherfuckers are still behind the times.
Yeah.
Look at them, still voting Democrat and Republican in the most important election of their lives.
Yeah. Like, you imagine. Yeah, right.
Never fucking stops.
Yeah, right.
It's the same goddamn thing every
The next
fucking
election
time.
becomes more important.
It's the most important election of our lives.
But, like, you know, like, have you ever been
waiting on Jesus.
Have you ever been on one of those safari tours where, like, you go in and you see the animals and shit, and you can buy, like, a cup of feed?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine probing is like buying the cup of feed for aliens. Like, they bring them here, like, hey, check out these half monkeys. They look fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Phase in, fucking abduct somebody. Well, I want to see how their asshole works. Like,
That's what's funny, man. Like, you see these people online arguing back and forth with the flat earthers or the round earthers, right? Mm-hmm. I think they're both wrong. Is that bad? I mean, is it possible?
Here's the thing: if it's really all a simulation, then there is no Earth.
I watched that video. I watched the video of the guy going up into space, like lower Earth atmosphere for the Red Bull commercial.
Yeah.
Did you watch that shit?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
that motherfucker. This
pouch.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem. Then you got this video here, but sorry, hold on. If you go back and watch Red Bull Space Fall, I think it's what it's called, or Space Jump, he's got a fisheye lens. Fisheye lens is what rounds things at the edges.
Yeah.
So when he looks down at the Earth with the fisheye lens at the proper angle, it makes the Earth look round, right? But then he keeps flipping, and you can see, even that high up, it's just a flat plane. And that fucked me up.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, it fucks me up. Because everybody's like, wow, you can't see a fucking gradient, or you don't see the curve, rather, at the ocean, because you're, observer effect. You look, you don't see high up enough.
Yeah.
Same with the plane. They're like, oh, you don't see high up enough. This motherfucker is jumping from space and parachuting to the ground, but he's not high enough.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then my next favorite video, insert Italian hand gesture. Go to YouTube and type in rocket hitting the flat Earth dome, posted by a channel named GeoShifter. 1.4 million views.
I think you showed me that. That was so long ago. That was back right before our flat Earth episode, I do believe, because that was kind of what prompted it.
I know. I just like to mention it from time to time because now we're audiencing tens of thousands of people, so
yeah,
a lot of people haven't seen it yet, probably.
I'm still on the fence about the whole flat Earth thing.
I don't think it's flat, man, but I don't think it's round either.
No.
I don't know. Watching that video, man, he flies up. You don't see any indication that it's round, okay? And the part that fucks me up was right when the rocket stops going up, and you hear it, like, get stuck. Mm-hmm. It got stuck in something, and then it just spins.
Yeah, that video does fuck you up a bit.
And it takes me back to the heavily redacted man-made version of the Bible, where they talk about the firmament. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah, because that video did fuck me up a bit. It's sketchy because the way it, like, you see it, spinning, and then all of a sudden, like, it almost makes a sound like it hit something. Like
water.
Like, dunk, and then it just stops.
Yeah.
And it's just stationary. The ground below it doesn't continue to get smaller and smaller as like you imagine it would.
Yeah.
The rocket's still going. Should be going technically.
Should be.
But it stopped.
Should it make it sound like it just plunged into water, like you dropped a turd in the toilet bowl?
Well, maybe.
And then slow down. I don't think so.
You ever think like I want to do an episode about this dude, but you ever think like maybe there's like some Jack Parsons shit involved with this, like because Jack Parsons was a rocket scientist who was also an occultist.
Yeah, a lot of those guys that founded NASA were dark occultists or Satanists.
Yeah, and he believed that like
Crowleyist, whatever. You
couldn't just get on a rocket or use a rocket to get into space. You had to like he believed you had to open a portal because his rockets they would only go up so high and then they would just explode.
Yeah,
and he was like, and then he saw a vision. I don't want to get too much in it. He saw a vision that told him that he was going to have to use occulted magic with a K.
Yeah. What year was that, do you think? Just roughly.
1930s, so like 1935, 37, somewhere in there.
Post-Crowley?
Oh, he knew Crowley already. Like, they had never met, but they corresponded with each other.
Because Crowley is partly responsible for the episode cover. Because I want to put the alien gray next to the Iwas. Iwas was the guy, the demon, or the extra-dimensional being that Crowley talked to that channeled him the Book of the Law that you can find for free.
Yeah.
But they're the same thing.
Yeah.
They look exactly the same.
Well, and just to say this, too, there's a really good show on Amazon Prime called Lore. There's a good podcast, too, called Lore. And sponsor, not a sponsor. The episode about Jack Parsons, right? And they kind of fucked it up, though. Like, I got a little upset.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've done enough research into Aleister Crowley, like, and they made it sound like the whole notion of the Book of the Law and everything was like this big hedonistic thing. And they're like, and they quote the do what thou wilt is the whole of the law, right? And they take the mush fake fucking terrible interpretation of that phrase and basically break it down to saying, do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
And it's like...
They're mush fake Satanism.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not what he meant by that. It's it's wilt in the capital sense, like the big G sense, like you do what God wills you to do.
Yeah. Which is different than what the Christians would have you believe.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Nagamati text, because I just got that Book of Thomas.
Yeah.
A.k.a. the Book of Judas.
You might have to do an episode about that.
Fucking A.
You sent me some screenshots from that.
Once I made it through the introduction, I started getting my mind blown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we kind of got off topic.
Yeah.
As we do.
It happens on the show.
But it's one of those things, man. Like, what do you want? You want a podcast that just tells you, like, well, all these abduction stories, we ramble on for an hour and 20 minutes about people who tell the same story over and over again?
Yeah, I mean...
If you want that,
that's the thing, yeah.
They're out there.
I mean, I was going to talk about Travis Walton, but then again, I'm sure Travis Walton's been talked about plenty on a ton of other podcasts. To give you a breakdown, if you don't know who Travis Walton is, you go look him up. Yeah. But he was abducted in 1975. He was gone for 5 days. They found him on the side of a highway, all fucked up. And he said he was out logging in the woods, and all of a sudden, fucking bright lights, everybody fucking bolts. He gets caught up in it, gets abducted. Fucking, they do all sorts of tests on him and shit like that, and it's a fucking horrible ordeal for him. And they even like ran tests at the site and shit like that, and like there was fucking excessive amounts of fucking radiation when there shouldn't have been. Mm-hmm. They did fucking polygraph tests. They thought the 5 dudes that were with him had killed him. They did polygraph tests on him, and they all came back negative. And he came back, told his story, polygraph, all that shit. Which I'm not saying polygraph is 100% effective. It's actually really not. Like, I saw something about that the other day, about how polygraph, like, cops use it. They technically, here's the thing, it's, you can't use it against somebody in a court of law.
No, they try and trick you into thinking that it's a confession. They get you to confess.
But it's actually a highly erratic and irregular system. Like, and it led to a lot of fucking stupid shit. Like, somebody hooked one up to a plant.
Yeah.
And then wrote a whole book about how, like, plants have feelings.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that he put a fucking polygraph on it, right?
Polygraphs are silly.
It's not a true indicator of lying or anything like that.
I lied my ass off on one when I was 18.
Yeah,
but I digress.
So I can't sit here and be like,
for a job.
Well, they passed their polygraph, so they must be telling the truth. Well, no.
Or they're a fucking stone cold. They're either they know what they're doing, or they're a stone cold psychopath.
Or polygraphs aren't really that accurate of a means of figuring out if someone's lying.
Basically, when I took mine, it was like the guy telling me that I was showing all these indications, even though I was doing an active manipulation of the test.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't doing what he said I was doing, but he wanted me to confess to things that I had done in the past so they could tell me I didn't get the job. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, he told me that he caught me and I didn't get the job. And then when I got on the interstate, they called me and told me I was hired. His job is to fuck with somebody's head for 8 hours a day.
That's it.
I want his job.
Yeah.
Not really.
But yeah, highly inaccurate system.
Yeah.
So if
that's part of the reason why we're a tourist trap at the end of the galaxy.
I was to say, if you ever if you were ever arrested for a crime you didn't commit, and they say, "Well, why don't you take a polygraph?"
Why don't you look at my balls?
Yeah, tell them to fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's just, they're trying to get you to fucking make a false confession.
Same thing with those voice stress analyzer things.
Yeah.
It's all bunk. Mm-hmm. It's all balderdash.
Bullshit.
Balderdash.
Balderdash.
I had that word in my head earlier for some reason. I was like, I have to use that at least once on the podcast today.
Now you use it like 4 times.
I know.
And I've used it.
Bringing it back. Bringing it back, y'all.
But yeah. So,
much like True Knowledge, when we did this episode, we probably just left you with more questions than answers. The more knowledge you get, the more questions you have.
And I'm thinking this about wraps it up, doesn't it?
You gotta pick up that boa, don't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, here soon. So, I think that about wraps up this episode. It's the end of October. We're going to be coming back to you in November with some hot takes.
Hot takes.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what that means, but I'm down.
Oh, don't worry. There's going to be some hot takes. But we'd like to thank you all for listening. We want you to go over to our Patreon and check it out. Join the nation. It's just $1 a month.
Yeah. If you don't want to give us money or you can't give us money, then just at least tell your friends about us. Share us on your medias.
Yeah.
And definitely go to iTunes, because that's like the most important thing you can do.
Yeah,
even most people, like, if you don't have iTunes, you can just get on Google, go to Bones and Tubs iTunes, look at it, and then review it. It's that easy.
I had someone the other day, like, and we've been on iTunes since the beginning, right?
Right.
Like the first couple of episodes, we were on iTunes.
Yeah, the first one's called Genesis.
Yeah,
come on.
But so, and then someone the other day is like, "You're on iTunes, man?"
No shit.
It's like basically like you made the big time, and I'm like, we've been on iTunes since the beginning.
Yeah,
like
we don't fuck around, bro.
No,
we were on a brand new social media platform that's trying to get demonized in the media by a fake ass shooter.
Yeah,
get with it. But yeah, that's like where most of the traffic comes from. So if you go on there and give us a 5-star review, that ups us in the numbers. More people see us, more people hear us.
Yeah.
And the less likely it is that we'll get bought out by the Zionists. So if you just help us out, we'll help you out.
Yeah.
Continue to give you that hot take sauce.
You want some merchandise?
Instagram.com. Go to that bio in the link, the description there.
Yeah.
Click that son of a bitch.
Yeah. Buy yourself a t-shirt.
Shit's on sale right now. And that doesn't mean that we took the price down, because our price is very minuscule. They're overpriced that they take down every so often. So hit it now. It's on sale.
Get yourself a sweet t-shirt. You know how it is.
Fucking phone case.
Some
wall art.
I kind of want a phone case.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a new phone though. So
yeah.
See what's popping.
But yeah, do what you must. You know what I
mean?
Scream
our name to a stranger.
Yeah, this is the sharing is caring. Go out there and share the podcast with other people.
If
you know what I mean?
One of you is the lady that won the fucking Mega Millions over in South Carolina or wherever it was, remember your boys on the Patreon.
For real. We'd like to thank y'all for listening. We hope you have a great week and an even greater Halloween.
Yep, we love you.
We really do.
Twisting your words any way I can. And when it came to my defeat, I just pointed the finger at everyone but me. I've been such a wretched man, twisting your words it were real, but that's just not